What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 list here today, and it's going to be my 10 favorite albums from 1995. 25th anniversary of all of this stuff. A lot of really awesome material was released that year. Kind of a surprisingly good year for metal, in my opinion. Had like 30 albums I've been trying to narrow down for a while. Finally did that. Just my opinion as usual. We'll give some honorable mentions at the end. Here we go. Starting off the list at number 10 is Sacrifice by Motörhead. This was their 12th album overall and the final album of theirs to be recorded as a four-piece. They had Wurzel on guitar at this point. He was out of the band after this album. Phil Campbell on guitar as well. Mickey D on drums, and of course Lemmy Kilmister on bass and vocals. At this point, Motörhead was kind of trending in a heavier, more angry, aggressive style, which I loved. They kept it going for a while after this. And looking at the track listing, 11 songs here, a lot of awesome stuff. I'd probably say the title track is one of my favorites. War for War, Order Fade to Black is great. Dogface Boy, All Gone to Hell. But pretty solid from start to finish here. Sacrifice, number 10. Next up at number 9 is Nattferd by the band Ragnarok. Good classic Norwegian black metal right here. It's the debut album from the band. Really cool, interesting stuff here. You know, it's a good blend of styles, I think. The keyboards are mixed in very well on this album. The Norse Winter Demon, that song is amazing. Keyboards sound great. Pagan Land, there's a little intro song and then it breaks into that one. Amazing opening riff. Kind of a mix of that good classic, raw, chaotic black metal style, and then it gets kind of melodic and great atmosphere on this album. Makes it feel like you're in a medieval village or something. I don't do it, but if you're going to go LARPing, I imagine this is some music you would put on to do that. That's the feel you get from it, which, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Really good album, in my opinion. Nattferd, Ragnarok, number 9. Next up at number 8 is The Spider's Lullabye by King Diamond. Really cool album here, pretty creepy sounding stuff. Of course, it's King Diamond. He always wants to make it feel like a horror movie with the concept albums and all that. But this one here, the first King Diamond album in about 5 years since The Eye. Of course, Merciful Fate got back together in between there, so he was busy doing that. And then mid to late 90s, he was doing an album like every year. One year it was Merciful Fate, then King Diamond, Merciful Fate. So really busy guy, still putting out really quality material between both. This album here is awesome. Of course, you got Andy LaRocque, however he pronounces it, on guitar, who is a freaking beast, one of the best of all time. Looking at this track listing, there are 10 songs. To the Morgue, Room 17, Eastman's Cure, The Poltergeist. The title track is awesome, From the Other Side. So really good, consistent album here. The Spider's Lullabye, number 8. As I stand before the crystal, coming in at number 7 is Eternity by the band Kamelot, the debut album from the band. Really awesome stuff here. It is actually my favorite by them. Mark Vanderbilt on vocals is amazing. Got to be the most underrated singer in all of metal. Well, probably the most underrated, but his voice is fantastic. Very similar to Michael Kiske, Jeff Tate, that type of style. Really, if you're a fan of classic Queensryche, you're going to love this album if you haven't heard it yet. Looking at the track listing, I would say Fire Within is my favorite for sure, but top to bottom, a lot of really good stuff here. Black Tower, Call of the Sea, Red Sands. Even the ballad on here is pretty good. What About Me? I dig that one. The Gleeman is the final song, is really good as well. Guitar work on this is fantastic. So overall, really good solid album here. Eternity, Kamelot, number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Vittra by the band Naglfar, another debut black metal album here. This time, these guys are from Sweden. It's melodic black metal, which is kind of what Sweden is really well known for. You got Dissection, Vinterland, Lord Belial's another great one, to name a few. But Naglfar, definitely one of the best. A lot of really good stuff. I like their second album, Diabolical, a little bit better than this one, but this is a fantastic start to their career. Ton of awesome riffs all throughout the album. A lot of double bass kick, which I love in the drum department. And then just looking at this track listing, 9 songs. Top to bottom, it's fantastic, but I'd probably say Enslave the Astral Fortress, my favorite on the album, second song. The guitar solo in that one, not only one of the best in black metal, but one of the best in all of metal in general. Just fantastic build-up, epic, amazing solo. Definitely check that out. Final song on the album, Exalted Above Thrones, is awesome. First song on the album, As the Twilight. This is a long one. As the Twilight gave birth to the night. Good song there. Through the Midnight Spheres is another fantastic one. So this band, their new album from this year, Cerecloth, is fantastic as well. So these guys are amazing. This is a great start to their career. Vittra, Naglfar, number 6. Taking the number 5 spot is Battles in the North by Immortal, one of the absolute best and biggest bands in black metal, one of my absolute favorites. This album here is awesome. Compared to their previous album, Pure Holocaust, the production on this one, a bit more raw, not as polished. I like them both a lot, but just got to point that out. 10 songs on it. A couple of my favorites have always been Descent into Imminent Silence and Blashurk, Mighty Ravendark. Fantastic stuff here. The atmosphere, very cold, is a word that people use to describe it a lot, which basically, when you listen to it, just makes you feel like you are in a blizzard on a mountain. So, yeah, and then you got the album cover here. It's white with the 2 guys, Demonaz and Abath, of course. These are the only 2 guys that were playing on the album at this point. Demonaz did guitar and songwriting. Abath did everything else, vocals, bass, guitar, drums. He's actually a pretty good drummer. Great musician. You see, he's versatile as heck. He freaking, yeah, heck, we're keeping it family-friendly here. He is very versatile. After Demonaz left the band, he switched to playing lead guitar. So, yeah, great player, great band. This album is fantastic. Battles in the North, number 5, Immortal. Coming in at number 4, Storm of the Lights, Bane by Dissection. Fantastic stuff here. Each of their first 2 albums are absolute classics. Of course, they were led by John Nattferd on guitar and vocals. Musically, the guy was a freaking genius. All the way around in this band, the musicianship was top tier. 8 songs on the album. Some favorites, I would say, are Unhallowed, Where Dead Angels Lie, Soul Reaper, Night's Blood. Top to bottom, great album here. And the style, you know, it's a mix of melodic black and melodic death metal. People like to debate it. I think it's more on the black metal side for sure, but whatever. Great extreme metal here. Dissection, Storm of the Lights, Bane, number 4. Next up at number 3 is Burnt Offerings by Iced Earth, one of my favorite bands of all time. John Schaefer on rhythm guitar, lays down so many amazing riffs all throughout their catalog, but on this album especially is a freaking beast. And this was also their first with Matt Barlow on vocals, kind of like their classic singer people think of him as, but he's got a good voice. Looking at the track listing here, Dante's Inferno, final song on the album. I've said this in the past, the best closing track to an album ever, but yeah, I pretty much stand by that. It's a super long, epic, amazing song. But besides that, you got Diary, the title track, Last December. A lot of awesome classic stuff on this album. It's a mix of thrash and some power metal, some traditional sounding stuff. Just overall, fantastic band, fantastic album. Burnt Offerings, number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Seen Through the Veils of Darkness, the second spell by Gehenna, or Gehenna, not exactly sure how they pronounce that, but fantastic Norwegian black metal band. These guys have an extremely strong catalog all the way through. This one, either their best or second best. Previously, I ranked their albums and put it at number 2, but depending on the day, it could be number 1. Fantastic top to bottom. The atmosphere is very dark and evil. Some of the most evil sounding black metal in my opinion. Some of the best black metal. This band is amazing. Looking at the track listing, the opening song, Lord of the Flies, is fantastic. Some of this stuff, hard to pronounce, but Sharak Kinum, I don't know. Second song is really good as well. Final song on the album, another favorite, Dark Poems Author. But again, top to bottom, really dig this album. I've said it before with this band. Some bands, when they do the symphonic thing, it sounds cheesy, but here they mix it in very well. Sounds extremely dark and spooky, if you want to say that word. But great album here. Seen Through the Veils of Darkness, The Second Spell, number 2 by Gehenna, however you pronounce that. But a couple honorable mentions I got to list through real quick before number 1. One that was really close was Burning Down Paradise by Tokyo Blade. It was a comeback album for them. It was like 5-6 years since their last album at this point. I really love these guys. That album is really good, close to making it. Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates. Astro Creep 2000 by White Zombie. Yeah, White Zombie I think is pretty cool. Good album there. Magnum Opus by Yngwie Malmsteen. Panzerfaust by Dark Throne was really close to making it. What else we got here? Osmosis by Ozzy Osbourne is a pretty good album, I think, deserving of an honorable mention. Still Not Black Enough by Wasp, another one that was in contention. Masquerade in Blood by Sodom. Yeah, there's more, but those are the main ones I felt like mentioning in the honorable mentions, and I guess on to my number 1. And taking the number 1 spot is Symbolic by Death. Got the cassette tape right here, the vinyl on the wall back there. Amazing album, top to bottom. When I first started putting this list together, I knew instantly this was my number 1, without question, for 95. Stressed about a lot of the rest of the list, but there was never a doubt with this album. Top to bottom, it is fantastic. Flawless track listing, title track, Zero Tolerance, Empty Words, Sacred Serenity, 1000 Eyes, Without Judgment, Crystal Mountain, Misanthrope, and Perennial Quest. All amazing songs. To me, this is the best death metal album of all time. Chuck Schuldiner on guitar and vocals, of course, was a beast. Sadly passed away back in 2001. Gene Hoglan on the drums on this album destroys it. Really just a freaking masterpiece here. Symbolic, Death, my number 1 album of 1995. So that does wrap up my list, and as usual, I want to know what you guys thought. I want to know your top 10 of 1995. Comment it below, let me know. And until next time, thank you for watching.